If you think you know everything that's going on in Cedar Park, you probably don't. And I just sat down with the mayor, chief of police, and Leander ISD Superintendent, and they announced 3 things most residents haven't heard about yet. Here's everything you need to know about the schools, the city, and public safety in the next 15 minutes. This update covers 3 parts. First, what's happening in Leander ISD and the tax vote on your November ballot. Second, the city projects breaking ground right now, including one that's going to change how Cedar Park looks and feels. And third, what the police department is doing to keep our neighborhoods safe. So let's get into it. Let's start off with schools, because this is what usually gets the #1 question I get people from moving here. Leander ISD has significantly grown its advanced placement program. Back in the 2021 to 22 school year, students took just under 8,900 AP exams, and 71% of those students scored a 3 or higher, which is the threshold that typically earns college credit. The district has recognized by the College Board as a large district of the year for combining both growth and participation and strong performance. On the career side, students are graduating with over 4,700 industry-based certifications, some walking straight into jobs. One student in the automotive program in Rouse High School had a position waiting for her at Hyundai of Leander before she ever graduated, and she is making some serious salary, guys. On facilities, there was a bond in 2023, and that bond was to fund new performing arts centers at both Cedar Park High School and Leander High School. Cedar Park High has essentially been remodeled over the past 2 years, including new HVAC, new flooring, updated classrooms, and athletic facilities. Vista Ridge High School went through a similar upgrade, and worth noting for the future buyers in the district's Board of Trustees has decided not to pursue another bond election in 2026. So this current round of construction is what's already been accounted for in funding. Now, in November, the board has just put forward a proposal to change the VATRE. I know that sounds kind of impressive, but it's the taxing aspect of the district. So here's something for your November ballot that's easy to misunderstand. So let me be precise. This is a Leander ISD measure, not the city of Cedar Park. This is a VATRE, a voter-approved tax rate election, and it covers both Cedar Park and Leander residents zoned into the district. Here's what the district shared about the VATRE. The average taxable home in the district is around $460,000. And it would actually see a tax decrease of about $110 a year if the VATRE passes. That same homeowner would see roughly a $27 annual increase. So the real swing is about $137 a year, not just the $27. The district says the money will generate about $6.7 million in revenue they keep because of Leander ISD is a recapture district. A portion of that, what gets raised, gets sent back to the state. The stated reason for the vote, state funding hasn't kept pace with inflation. Some state-mandated programs are underfunded relative to what it is the cost to run, and enrollment trends are uneven, growing in the north and declining in the south. So that's a lot to unpack. And I want to also put into that a few more things to know if you're relocating with kids in the district. The district has fairly flexible transfer policies between campuses. And this year, families living outside of Leander ISD can now apply for open enrollment into the district for in space permitting. And if you're researching schools online, the superintendent specifically pointed to real estate professionals and families towards texasschools.gov as the best and consistent factual source versus crowdsourced reviews where sites can be skewed and a little outdated. And on the city side, there's a long-awaited north-south road project finally under construction. It's taken a while because of the amount of bridge and elevated road work involved, and it's expected to take 2 years to finish. And that is the 183 service road that's going to be connecting Austin and Cedar Park, which definitely needs to be put in with 183A. But the project I think you'll actually notice most is the new pedestrian bridge connecting Lakeline Park to Twin Lakes near the YMCA on 183, old 183. The mayor's been calling it the half-buried Comanche bow, but the architects call it a Harp Gateway Bridge. It's designed to be visually iconic, and they have already designed a photo bump out area for Instagram and people taking photos. The construction starts this fall, and beyond its aesthetics, it's meant to make crossing that area much safer for cyclists and pedestrians, which is really important. That's a very highly traveled road. So Lakeline Park, which I mentioned earlier, is getting a phase 2 expansion. More trails, more nature areas, and gathering spaces on the undeveloped portion of the site. We're going to be building that out in sub-phases as funding allows. And also on the historical side, the city is investing in preservation of the older surviving log cabin in the region, dating back to roughly 1860. It's a small line item in the budget, but it's a part of how Cedar Park is holding on to its identity while we keep growing. And you can't forget the industries. So Cedar Park continues to attract serious employers, aerospace, defense, and medical technology companies to the northern part of the city. Firefly Aerospace, which had just recently successfully landed a spacecraft on the moon last year, is a part of this growth. New developments bring jobs. Retail developments like Shields and the Furniture Mart are bringing tax revenue to fund the services that make people want to live here in the first place. And I want to give you an honest picture, not just a highlight reel. The city budget process has been tough in the last few years. Like most Texas cities, Cedar Park leans heavily on property tax revenue, and the housing market has adjusted over the last couple of years, as you can say. About 53% of the city's budget goes towards public safety, and that's expected to stay roughly the same. Around 41% of the general fund revenue comes from property taxes. Some departments' requests this year simply aren't going to be funded. On Bell Boulevard specifically, the public side, the streets and the library and the surrounding park and infrastructure are progressing. But the private multifamily development in this market is not moving at the same pace. And it's market dependent, right? And with apartment rents regionally right now rather flat, the city says they'd rather get this partnership right than to rush it. And lastly, on public safety, Cedar Park opened its new public safety training facility earlier this year, funded by a voter-approved bond. It includes a fully functional emergency operations center, so the city can activate emergency responses quickly if needed. Plus, a tactical training building with movable walls that can be reconfigured to resemble pretty much any kind of layout they may find themselves in an event. And on staffing, most departments nationwide including Cedar Park PD, has some vacancies. Approximately right now, 9 are open out of the authorized 114 officers that are authorized for their payroll. The chief was clear that the department won't lower its hiring standards just to fill seats faster, which I love. For families, there are several youth programs worth knowing about. The Junior Police Academy for kids around 11 to 13 held over 3 one-week summer sessions, and the Public Safety Cadet Program for teens and young adults from 14 to 21. There is also a Citizens Police Academy for adult residents and a COPS volunteer program where trained community members patrol in pairs with police officers, right? That sounds like fun. In our conversation with the police, one topic that's a hot topic came up: license plate readers or flock cameras. So this is what they said. The department uses them to identify vehicles' characteristics like color, body style, visible markers, which can be especially useful when a suspect has been stolen or have altered plates. So the commander described a case where this technology helped identify a subject vehicle within about 2 hours of a homicide investigation, leading to an arrest within about 48 hours. The image data is generally retained for a limited period, and the department says it audits and researches to confirm their use for legitimate law enforcement purposes. The mayor was up front. There's real public policy debate around these systems nationally, and accountability, and audit trails matter. So it isn't a settled, one-sided issue. It's worth knowing that the technology exists in Cedar Park if that's something that you seriously care about. And so in closing, so that's the state of Cedar Park. Schools investing in growth with tax decisions coming up in November, a city building infrastructure while managing a tighter budget, and a police department expanding training while staying transparent about the tools that it uses. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or just relocating to the area and want real on-the-ground picture, not just a brochure version, reach out. My contact information are in the link below, and I'll have another update the next time one of these leaders sits down with us. I look forward to seeing you in the next time.